Habari Entertainment proudly presents Habari Live. Habari Live. From Phoenix, Arizona. And you're listening to the Habari Live podcast. The show that brings you news, sports, and entertainment for people who love HabariEntertainment.com. Here are your hosts, Aisha, Jimmy, and Damon Dipleen Ellison. Let's get it going. We are all the way live.
Good morning. We are thrilled to bring you the latest edition of Habari Live, your go-to podcast for the pulse of Phoenix and beyond. Like always, we are all the way live in Paradise Valley in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Damon Dipleen Ellison and my co-host
Aisha.
And we'll be your go-to guide through the exciting stories and everyday happenings in our community, vibrant community. Your weekly dose of inspiration, innovation, and insightful conversations from the heart of our city. Let's get it going. So today we have a lovely guest. We have Whitney Harvey. She is the owner of what is it?
GenThirty8.
GenThirty8. I don't know why the name didn't come up. GenThirty8, and she is a distinguished motivational speaker, accomplished entrepreneur, and a holistic lifestyle coach dedicated to promoting holistic wellness in Arizona through her transformative methodology. Hypno breathwork. Whitney empowers individuals to release stress, promote emotional healing, enhance mental clarity, and ignite intuition. As a dynamic empowerment guide, skilled group facilitator, and dedicated legal advocate, Whitney's mission is to help others unlock their authentic purpose and lead healthier, happier lives. We're excited to dive into her journey, the birth of GenThirty8, and the real-life challenges she has overcome to achieve her vision. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
No problem. We appreciate you coming in. I know it's kind of a short notice, but we wanted to talk to you and just learn a little bit more about your life and how you have come to this place in your life to want to help others. And you said you were you studied law?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been practicing the last 15 years.
Wow. So what kind of lawyer are you?
I do personal injury primarily.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
So,
my upbringing in the law, and I've started pivoting with helping startup entrepreneurs, creators, and getting their businesses going, getting their documents going.
And getting everything for their documentation. Definitely, man. That's you're just a person that's dedicated to helping others.
Yes.
And that's pretty great when you see that in yourself and in your life, and you realize this is what I'm here to do. That's pretty dope. And
Thank you.
And for you to see that at a young age is pretty cool. What inspired you to create GenThirty8, and how did your journey lead you to holistic wellness?
Yeah, so let's take the short route, right?
Okay.
So I just have to say, just all of my inspiration really comes back to my mom.
Okay.
My mom was a teenage mom, a single mom, and just really always instilled vision in me of I can do anything.
Yeah.
Of course, she wanted me to be a lawyer.
Right. Really?
So that was her initial dream that I realized, and then which served me well as well. I'm grateful. But GenThirty8 is really me having my own purpose, my own vision beyond, maybe my mom's or my family's vision, and really going through different traumatic experiences, different, experiences as a young, Black woman, then as an attorney. I've just had a whole life of multifaceted challenges. And I've always looked at myself as almost like an alchemist of really taking that pain and turning it into purpose.
There you go.
And GenThirty8 is for people that are navigating challenges to turn that into a growth opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah.
So explain to our viewers, they've never heard of GenThirty8, and you just want to sell them on what you're doing. Kind of go through that for my people, from we can kind of understand what you're trying to sell to the public.
Right. So GenThirty8, we focus on holistic wellness, which is really anyone that's looking to navigate personal healing or personal development. And we use the modalities. Hypno breathwork is one form, but we essentially combine breathwork with meditation, and we combine music to really create this transformative journey where a person can pour into themselves, bring to the surface things that they might not have been aware of, personal, professional, family, whatever it is, and then gently release it so that they can step into greater alignment, greater clarity, greater focus in their purpose. I feel like a lot of us are distracted in not knowing what our purpose is because we've been wounded and hurt. And this is classes and workshops to let people process that in, a 2-hour experience so that they can move forward in their development journey.
I really am. I like the direction a lot of people are going to nowadays, where people are realizing that you can't just swallow things and go on. You can't just grin and bear it anymore. People want to talk. And especially it's cool for us, for Black people, because we have issues going to psychiatrists and talking to these people and reaching out to try to figure out things. We just like, hey, get through it. Sometimes it's a mental hurdle that you need to talk to someone else. You need to figure out things. How can you better help yourself for you can be able to survive the things that you're going through day to day.
Absolutely.
And I love that people are creating these things, and people like you are creating places where people can come and feel like they're safe and feel like they have someone that's in their corner, because you can't do all this stuff on your own. Sometimes you need some help. And sometimes you need advice.
For sure. That was my experience. Is, everybody's going through their own navigating obstacles, healing, whatever you want to call it, individually. And you can feel really disempowered and discouraged depending on where you're at in that journey. And that's where community can come in, where you can just hear you're not alone. Maybe your story is different than someone else's, but we're all here in this class, this experience together, because we need to let go of something so we can move forward.
And it's, it's hard. It's not always easy to just let go. Everybody, some people, we think about things. We overthink things. We just overcompensate for over the issues that we may have, trying to get ourselves in the right place. And sometimes those things don't work out the way we want them to. And sometimes you just, like I said, you need somebody to talk to. And you in your mind, you're like, oh man, I'm doing this right. I'm doing this correctly. But sometimes you just think to yourself, maybe you should talk to someone. Maybe it's not going the direction you want it to. And that's why I'm always trying to learn, man, because it's so many ways to look at the same thing. Everybody has a different perspective.
Absolutely.
We can be in the same place and everybody has a different view. So it's always good to listen to others and get their views and their ways of getting through problems, whatever you're going through. So can you explain the unique methodology behind Hypno breathwork and how it differentiates from traditional wellness practices?
Yeah, absolutely. So Hypno breathwork is really this experiential therapy. So it's a therapeutic modality that allows you to use what you naturally have, which is your breath, to clear out any stagnant emotions or unprocessed energy. And then the meditation is going to bring to surface, really what you want to focus on. But before you can start focusing on goals and starting to, determine what you want to do next as like a step to move forward, you have to let out from your body, like what that emotional trigger was for you. Otherwise, you're going to be setting goals from a doubtful place or a fearful place.
There you go.
So I like Hypno breathwork because it lets you do the emotional release through breathwork. The hypnosis is really just referring to the breathwork pattern that we use. It lets you drop in deeper to a deeper state of relaxation, almost as if you're about to go to sleep, that you might get to from meditating for an hour. But with Hypno breathwork, you can do it in 4 minutes because of the breathing technique.
Wow.
Yeah. So I really love this. And it's different from other modalities because you can have a 20-minute journey and get so much clarity, get so much focus, get so much emotional release in that 20 minutes because we combine it with music as well. And we focus on what is your action step? What is what you want to focus on? What do you want to let go of? What's your intention coming out of this? So it's a very succinct way to undergo that journey of transformation.
Right. And you're allowing people to focus on the issues that they need to work on. And you can focus on what you need to do. I think sometimes that's an issue that we do. We're scatterbrained. And we can't focus on what we really want to change. And we see so many things that we want to make different, but you have to take it step by step. So the first step, what is it that you want to get out of this? and how can you get to that next step? Those are things that a lot of people, we don't look at. Me myself,
Right.
I'm just trying to get there, and sometimes you skip a couple steps.
Right.
Sometimes you don't go through the motions the right way, and those things can, in the end, hurt you because you don't feel as though you went through everything properly to make sure you feel good about
Right.
where you're going. So, man, we use a lot of Eastern philosophies and in breath work and breathing, and that's a lot of yoga and a lot of what Muslim thought patterns, right? Because they do a lot of meditating. They do a lot of just what they want to call it when you're praying.
Mindfulness or
There we
pray.
go, praying to your people, but you're praying, you're getting yourself into that mind state, and you're clearing your brain, and you're all about what you're trying to do, and that's a lot of Eastern philosophies. What do you think about? I love that we're going into that natural, like we used to be in the 70s,
Yeah.
where people are trying to be more natural, trying to eat better, more natural. I mean, in the 70s, it was a big thing. I would love to see it come back,
Yeah.
because that people were healthier, and we was doing more when it comes to politics and fighting for our brothers and sisters in the streets.
Absolutely.
And I think that we've kind of gotten away from those things nowadays, and we need to get back to them ASAP.
Yeah. And that's part of the mission and vision for GenThirty8 is people that collectively just might feel disempowered, feel like you can't control certain external circumstances or your environment. But like we said, you can't get caught up on the fullness of the issue.
Right.
You just need to know what's the next step. And I think that if we can bring a massive group of people that trusted their intuition, their discernment, and trusted their ability to move forward, whatever that looks like, without getting weighed down and overwhelmed, that we could really get people that are in alignment with their purpose, and we could move and accelerate faster.
Definitely.
But there's just so many people that feel overwhelmed and don't know. They're disconnected from their bodies. They're disconnected from community, and they're disconnected from purpose.
Yep.
So that just is the perfect storm for inactivity, stagnation, and us retreating backwards.
Yeah. And it also gets, sometimes, you get depressed. You're wondering why. You feel as though you can't go to the places that you want to go. You can't reach the heights and the goals that you feel as though that you have set for yourself, and you start getting depressed, and you start second guessing the decisions that you've made. And sometimes you need that community. You need those people in your corner to come and talk to you, to help you, to tell you, hey, you're heading the right direction.
Yeah.
You just got to keep knocking at those doors.
Yeah.
You can't give up. And a lot of us start looking for excuses, looking for blame, looking for people to point to. You've become a lawyer in a place that's mostly, I would say 70 to 80% men.
Yeah.
And I don't know the exact percentages, but I would say it's highly men and white men.
Yep.
So you have to be able to work with across the aisle, work with other people who may not look like you, and you have to make those things happen. And we have to, as Black people, that's what we have to do. Unfortunately, some people get caught up in oh, they don't look like me, or that. We have to work with everyone, and knowing law is important. And I wish more of us would. I want to see more Black lawyers.
Yeah.
Because who's going to fight for us? No one's going to fight for us, but for us but us.
Right.
No one understands what it is to go through and be Black in America except us. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have a white lawyer, but I'm saying we need more Black lawyers.
We do.
Because too many people get railroaded. Too many people go to jail not knowing their rights, not knowing exactly what they were supposed to have done and fought for. Because who's there to fight for you when we don't know the cases?
Right.
People want to be against the system and against all these things. You can't be against the system when the system is against you. You have to learn that system, learn how to fight that system, their way of fighting, to be able to beat them. You can't change the system if you don't know it. And that's a problem that a lot of people, they holler, this system is garbage. This way of doing things is trash. But okay, learn the ins and outs before you can go there and change things, because you can't change it if you don't know it. You have to know everything. And I really respect that you went there and you did that. and learned everything you need to do to become that. Because, like I said, it's pertinent, and we're not taking advantage of the situations that we're put in front of. A lot of people don't want to do those things, but they are important.
Yeah, that's the personal empowerment component too. Even looking at someone that might find themselves in the criminal justice system, in the legal system. Like, I'm a believer of everyone, every stakeholder, like, feeling empowered. And I'm about, like, even on the legal side, my clients feeling empowered. I overshare, I over communicate. I set them up for success. If we're going into a hearing or a deposition,
Right.
what do you want to? You want to see your entire file? You want to read your records? Like, I'm a believer in the more that the client is a mutual collaborative experience in their own case, their own journey, they show up better.
Definitely.
They feel better, and they advocate for themselves in conjunction with you. So I feel like even as practitioners, whatever your role is, whether lawyer, corporate, whatever you do, entrepreneur, let's empower each other, including our clients.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's really important. So how does hypnosis, meditation, and breath work together to promote emotional healing and mental clarity?
Right. So that's where it's traditionally in a hypno breathwork session or class, we would start with it's a musical journey, maybe 6 songs that I've curated, composed. And it depends on what the workshop is. If it's like Reclaim Your Power, it's going to be high energy. It's going to be very triumphant, victorious, right? And so it's a journey of 6 or 7 songs over 20 minutes with you starting with a body scan just to connect to your body. So kind of more meditative. Then bringing in the breathing pattern over successive songs. I'll have different prompts for people to reflect and ask themselves internally. So I'll throw out a question and tell people and invite them to ask themselves, really, now that they've cleared out some of that initial stress, like, let's bring to the surface what you really want to focus on. Because it might not be what you thought initially, now that you've grounded yourself and kind of calmed your nervous system. And then from there, we go through the culmination is a meditation where you can just really reflect on all of the insights that you gained from that experience. And I'll ask you, all right, and now think about what your next action step is based on how everything went and transpired today. So in a 20 to 22 minute experience, you're going to come out of it, but maybe you had some memories you hadn't thought of, or you connected some dots on some things, identified some patterns, maybe even in your family that helped you realize, I'm holding on to something that's not even really my way or my being.
Definitely.
So I need to let that go. Like, maybe we're holding on to some trauma, but we're also holding on to some resilience. So let me pull from our resilience to overcome. So it really is an abbreviated experience that can allow you to, in that journey, really get to the source of what your current area of overthinking is, right? Every day is different, every week, every month, every year. So every session's going to be different. And that's why I tell people you have to do this multiple times. One time's not enough. It's a practice. Yeah.
And then once you start, you practice, it becomes normal for you. And that's when it's a muscle, and it's just easily worked out, and you're not even thinking about it. It's just done.
Absolutely.
And that's where you want people to get. And that's pretty nice, because it's, like I said, man, it's just a struggle sometimes, and you just need to release and figure out exactly what's going on, what's really giving you this emotional instability that you're going into right now.
Right.
And what can you do about it, and what really is the issues that you're really facing. Sometimes we attack the wrong things and we don't realize it.
Yeah.
And that's a good way of trying to get over those things.
Oh yeah, I've been there. You think it's one thing, and then you realize, well, I'm still holding on to like this argument I might have had with my spouse last night, or with a friend. I don't know if they're mad at me, or this thing my mom said might have rubbed me the wrong way. So we might think it's work, and it's something else, or we might think it's family and it's work. So just being able, in my experience, there's a pattern and a thread along all of those facets. So if I'm a people pleaser at home or in my family, that's going to be revealed in the way I do work. If I'm in like a corporate environment, that's how I'm showing up. So it's us identifying in all of those areas of our lives where we might need some boundaries in a gentle, loving way, but we need to make sure we take care of ourselves and communicate our needs.
Yeah, definitely pertinent and very important. So we got a few, let's get into some more questions here. What challenges did you face while you were establishing GenThirty8, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah. So GenThirty8 is actually a second business for me. So my other business is the self-coach lawyer.
Okay.
So I do coaching and consulting in the legal space all around wellness and diversity, just really trying to help lawyers, first gen or attorneys of color, really, redefine success and make it their own.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my first baby. GenThirty8 really came because I got burnt out on the self-coach lawyer.
Wow.
Like, it's probably not a good idea to start a second business when you're like still building a first one.
Mm-hmm.
But I went through something where I was seeking, funding. I was looking for investment and I didn't get it. And I had quit practicing at that time. I was fully in on entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And when I didn't see what I perceive to be the support for the self-coach lawyer, I'm like, people don't care about attorneys. They think we just got it like that. They don't realize there's suffering amongst certain groups.
Definitely.
And then I just said, I don't even want to pour into it. I took like a little 6-month pause from the self-coach lawyer. In GenThirty8, I said, I want to focus on community advocacy beyond law. I want to focus on family, personal empowerment and healing. And so it was kind of retaliatory because I was just like, I'm going to leave this behind and focus. But really, now I do both businesses and I'm building. But it's the lack of funding when you're in that seed stage, that startup stage.
It's tough.
It's tough the first 2 years. You really do have to have a day job or a 9-to-5 or something you can do on autopilot. And I let go of legal, which I've been doing almost 15 years to try to start, my businesses, not knowing that was not a smart move.
It's tough.
It's very tough.
It's one of the hardest things I've ever tried to do is starting a business. I mean, it's hard. And you think that people just wake up and they're successful, but that's usually not how it works. So it's hard, man. That's what we still do. We still work. We still putting in 9-to-5, and then we come in and we work this after we get off and during the week, and we do everything we can to update people what's going on. And it's difficult. I wish I could do this 24/7, but I know that the pressure to make sales, to make money would just be astronomical. And I could not imagine trying to struggle every day, trying to just stressing off of it now.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine the stress if I had to wait on this to put food on my table.
Yeah.
Eesh.
We need more. I'm glad you mentioned it and we're so candid because I just thought, if you get caught up on social media, you think everybody quit their job because you see everybody showing up. I thought, okay, I quit my legal job. I had a savings. I'm like, I can do this for a while. And, if you don't change your lifestyle, then, I'm not slowing down my lifestyle. So I'm running through my savings. So I was just completely naive and didn't realize how hard the entrepreneurial journey can be. But just, yes, trying to rely upon, other funding sources and you building, it's hard to worry about how I'm going to pay my bills, So I had to take my ego out of it. And honestly, that got me back into practicing more. And not that I didn't want to practice, I just wanted to practice in a different way. And so I've been kind of trying to rebuild even in legal, right? How I can work this freelance and do it in a different way. So now I've finally found some alignment where I can do community advocacy, but I can also still practice. And I don't have to have that unnecessary stress as I'm building.
And then you built a business that also helps you to cope with some of the stresses that you're going through, and that's also great, because sometimes it's tough to find people that help you and to build something yourself that builds an environment of healthfulness and togetherness and healing. Those things will come together better for you because you're the leader of that. And you don't feel the stresses that you feel on other things because you have the work. Now you can just go do this, feel stress-free, come in and do what you need to do and build it. And that's really, I hope the best for you because that's what we all want. We want to get to that point of where we're helping people and we're becoming more healthy and we're helping others to get to that place.
Absolutely. I'm just a believer in, less gatekeeping, especially where we're at currently. It's like, everybody wants you to get into their program, pay this money to get the wisdom that they've learned the last decade. And I get you got to do what works for your business model, but there's so much free information we can give on an educational, from that standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
to just help someone in their journey, and just to hold all of that and hoard it, I think is irresponsible.
I agree. It's the second week in a row we've talking about gatekeeping. So gatekeeping must be, I mean, for real, we got to let it go. I know everybody wants to feel like they're the man and they want to be rich and look down on others. But the way we grow as a community is helping others to make sure that people have the knowledge they have so they can get through. Why we want to be the only people on the other side of the gate,
Right?
And looking at those like, look at them. No, let's help them get over here too.
Exactly.
What are we doing? We want everybody to grow. If we rise and everybody else rise with us, it makes everything better. It brings everything up to a higher echelon. And then we can make better decisions as people to be able to help the community, to be having to not depend on these people. You see what they're doing in the government. We don't want to depend on them. We want to be able to go through our own neighborhoods and get help from us, not from them. Because what they do, take it away. And then what you're doing when they take it away, oh my goodness, right. If you build that on your own, you don't have to worry about them. And it's the problem. And a lot of people say that, you have to look at things both ways. A lot of people say that the help is what make people not want to go to work. I think the help should be there. But at the same time, you can't depend on that.
Yeah.
You have to think, there are people who won't be able to do things. And that's why those things exist. But those who can do better, and you have the mental, and you're like, I'm just going to let this because this is easy. Man, you're wasting your talent. You're wasting your life. You could do something that could make a difference for somebody.
Yeah, it's motivation. It's accountability. I think really, I mean, you can take, like you said, not everybody you can't reach and motivate everybody. But I think there's a lot of people that have been ruled out that we just haven't gotten to the source of the narrative they've told themselves. That if we just slightly shift their perspective on who they think they are, they could choose a completely entirely different trajectory. And that's why I think it's like if we were all more mindful in our interactions with people, whether it's 5 minutes at Starbucks in line or whatever, at the mall, and you see someone, you spend an extra minute just, attending to that person and just acknowledging their existence, that just might be a completely different outcome for that person, depending on how they were feeling that day. And that's why I think a lot of us don't realize the influence and motivation we have on day-to-day, mundane, regular, routine experiences that could really help someone.
That can help another person become a better person. To just like you, when you're going into a building and you open the door for someone, 9 times out of 10, the next person opens the door for the next person. When you set that as a norm, the people see that you are doing these for people. They don't want to be left out in those things.
It's
People,
like
that's the way it is. Everybody helps each other. When they see you helping, they help too.
It's kind of like pay it forward.
When
I used to work at Dunkin' Donuts, a thing that I would see the most would be people paying it forward.
Yeah,
the one car would start the pay it. They will pay for the car behind them, and then next thing you know, 20 cars have paid for the car behind them.
Right. Exactly.
Because no one wants to feel like, oh well, I'll just go ahead and take care of theirs.
I mean, it's just setting the norms,
right?
And just setting making the environment, making people feel like, hey, this is what we do. When you're like, hey, we help people, and when you are setting that precedent, people are gonna follow. When you're evil, and people are gonna follow that. You see, we are top guy right now. People will follow that too. But we've had leaders like Obama who was based in love and bringing everyone in. So those things do matter. So as a lawyer and a holistic lifestyle coach, how do you balance your professional legal career with your passion for wellness?
Yeah, so that it has been a journey because, sometimes it feels like all or nothing. But I would say now it's really integrating and infusing as much as possible together. So even with legal with a self-coach lawyer, that allows me to go into legal conferences or legal organizations or associations. And I can bring breath work. I can bring meditation. I have my little speaker and I play the music, you know. And at first people were kind of looking at me like, what is she doing? Right. And you just kind of, when you're a visionary, you know, you just got to trust yourself. We have that imposter syndrome, even when you know your gifts, your talents, you're doing something different or new in a new space. You have to just still show up and trust that it's going to work out. And I always get positive feedback. People that were a little reluctant, even saying, I didn't think this was going to help me, but I felt like the stress come off my body. I felt like I realized what was stressing me out, even at work, like the business of law. Yeah. Because a lot of us attorneys aren't good at doing business, right? Yeah. So I think it's been nice for me to start bringing in, even on the process side, looking at how processes can slow us down and make us feel stress. Yeah. Right. And a lot of us have innovative solutions and ideas that if we just take the stress off and give a little space for some creativity, then we can help solve our own problems. So in legal, I'm doing that. And so it's like bringing wellness, like deconstructing even what we think of as wellness. I look at AI as a tool for wellness. Man, it's definitely a tool that can give you some time back. Yes. And if you if you learn how to, a lot of people are saying that it's going to make you dumb, but if you are using it incorrectly, if it makes you dumb. Right. Because you should be putting in very good information for you can get great information back. Absolutely. And that's the way you use this technology. It's not that it's going to make you dumb. You should be putting in what you believe, your thoughts, everything you want. And sometimes it'll help you to rearrange your thoughts in a way that it's set up a little bit more properly. And maybe you don't know how to do that. There's levels to this stuff, man. Yeah. And you can get better by seeing the words and the way it's wording things, the way it's putting things, and you can get better at the way you do things. And you got to think about that. If you're getting better and it's teaching you how to get better, then every time you use AI, you will get more from that application. Absolutely. You gotta take advantage of what we have today, man. You got to think of all these people they had to spend hours and hours and hours. What we can't get back is time. Yep. So we want to be able to spend more with our family, more with our friends. If you can use this tool properly, you can get those things back. Absolutely. And that's important, man. Because man, what more do you want in life than to spend some more time with your people? Be with your daughter, be with your sons, be with your wife. And that's where I say, like, that's part of the emotional and mental health component too, is when we're overthinking, we're not in action. Yeah. Sometimes you just need a tool, and it could be technology. Yeah. So breathwork and meditation are, more holistic, but there's also technology that helps you essentially do what breathwork does, is help you get clarity. Yeah. So now I need to execute on it. Now I know my goal, but I still need some strategies and some tactics. Yeah. And that's where, like you said, is so helpful, and like getting that time back and helping you expand. If we have sometimes some limiting beliefs, we don't know what's possible. And that's the beauty of AI is it will tell you what's possible. Yeah. If you say, I have 8 hours and I have this to do, it will tell you if that's feasible or how to make it feasible. And we don't have that benefit as human beings of always knowing that. Right. So that's where it's kind of like AI can help show you really, if you're trying to be Superwoman, Superman in your day, no, like AI will no, this is what you can do and accomplish that in a much shorter period of time. And you guys also got to think, man, those people that's anti-AI, you got to think about all these rich people have secretaries. They have people that they're reaching out to and they're saying, hey, Janet, hey, Ben, write this up for me. Give me a synopsis of what we did in that meeting. They are not doing these things themselves. Right. AI is giving us a way to get someone to do some of the things that the top-notch CEOs are getting some other people to do, so they can think about other things and focus on the things that matters for their business. These are ways that we can make our time better, and we can make our places in our business. We can do the things that we need to do to grow our business. Right. We don't have to focus on all this. You can even use secretarial AI things in your day-to-day life, like. We were just I was talking with someone on Facebook this week, using AI
for creating your grocery list.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It can help you literally budget your grocery list. You tell it, hey, I want to be within this budget at this store.
Yep.
Have these items incorporated,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll give you a grocery list, and it'll give you meals that you can make with those items.
That is awesome.
Right.
And this is what we need. I mean, people say, "Oh, you're just not thinking." Our brain is it's not calculators. We can't calculate all the things. We gotta go in there and see how much money that's why you go over budget all the time.
Every time.
Yeah.
But I use that AI tool,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell it I want to be within this budget. Yes, I might go $5 or $10 over, but I'm still fairly within my budget. I'm not going
all the way out the budget, like usually.
Right, exactly.
Normal, right. Just killing the poor old budget.
Every time. If I go to the grocery store and I don't use my AI tool for my budget, I'm going to go overboard every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I use that tool, and it helps me stay within budget, and I can have meals with and without meat within my budget.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, man. And I just think that it's a great tool, and I advise all people to get better at using it. Mark Cuban said the people in the future that will be successful will be able to know how to use AI to help them in everyday functions.
Right.
And the people who do that and learn that, they will be the successful people of the future. It has nothing to do with not learning. This is an extra step of learning. This is another way of taking advantage of technology.
Yeah.
So lastly, what future goals and visions do you have for GenThirty8, my bad, and the impact you aim to make in the wellness community?
Yeah. So for GenThirty8, we started our classes in Phoenix. You know, been here 25 years. This is my home, but really want to take these traveling workshops, go on tour around the country. There's just so many people that are hungry for community, safe spaces, and just letting go and really tapping into, like you even mentioned, like Eastern medicine, ancestral medicine, whatever it is. People just wanting to know more of their why.
Yes.
So my goal with GenThirty8 is to expand it organically. I'm in no rush, right? But I wanted to go beyond Phoenix. And then the mark I want to make in the wellness space is really just looking at wellness differently. You know, I think a lot of times I was reluctant to get into wellness because I'm like, I don't want to be a nutritionist. I'm not going to be personal trainer. I'm not over here trying to really sell you this gym fitness. It's beyond physical. Of course, we got to take care of physical. Definitely. We got to eat better. Of course, anything we're ingesting, that's all important. But I want to focus on the mental and emotional aspects that it does to the physical body. Yeah. And that's partnering with scientists and neuroscientists and doctors and really starting to research some of these holistic, sound healing meditation. Yeah. There's already research on the benefits to blood pressure, cortisol levels, etc. So I really want to make a mark in spending some deep research and time and looking at the mind-body connection.
Yeah. I mean, we see that the monks live a lot longer than the average person. These people spend a lot of time meditating, eating correctly, thinking and about others and building their mental for they're stronger. And those people, man, they live forever. On average, these guys live in 100 years. So they're doing something right.
Yeah.
So I do believe that we should be following how to become better mentally when it comes to wellness. It's just not all about the physical. Right. It's a mental place also that we have to fix that's going to make us grow and be better.
Absolutely.
So we really, really appreciate you coming in today and talking to us. Tell everyone how to connect with you if they want to learn more. Your website, because I know you got a great website going there, and your Instagram and your socials and everything.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for having me. I just want to say that again. So you can connect with me on whitney.m.harvey.esq on Instagram, or at GenThirty8 on Instagram. Also have the website, which is GenThirty8.com. And if anyone, in the professional context and organizational wellness, LinkedIn, I really show up on there. So follow that. And then if you're interested in the legal side, at the Self-Coach Lawyers on Instagram too.
Okay.
And I have the selfcoachlawyer.com. So you can find me.
For sure.
Look for me.
Definitely, man. Please look for her. She's doing great things out here. They're teaching people how to become better people and how to be more well with their lifestyles and what they're doing. So we're going to get out of here right now for this. We will be back in about an hour or so.
Yeah, it's about 11:40 now, so we'll be back about 2:00 ish.
Yeah, we'll be back
Arizona
about 2:00.
time.
We got to take a break. We're gonna go down here to Bridget Pettis's basketball camp. We're gonna go down there and talk to some of the kids and interview Bridget and some of the trainers down there, and just do something for the community and go out into the community and talk a little bit. Every year we go down here with Bridget Pettis and we make sure that we help out for the kids. We do not charge her for this just because we like giving back. And this is something we just go down there and do and make a video for them every year. And just giving back to the community. So we will be back in about an hour or so to go over the week's news. So come back with us in an hour, everybody. I know you guys are going to be wondering what's going on, but just come back in an hour and we'll get it going. But we want to thank you again for coming in. GenThirty8, we hope nothing but the best. And Whitney Harvey, we really, really, really appreciate you coming through and dropping some knowledge on us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you, Aiden. We'll be back.
Hey, y'all, it's Mama Soul's Fish and Chicken, Habari Entertainment sponsor. Let's go get it.